It's time to go to Mushroom Kingdom in the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Ben Affleck is in the director's chair once again with Air as the Bob Ross-inspired film Paint and the new Netflix comedy starring Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston, Murder Mystery 2. That's this week on The King's Corner. What's up, guys? Hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for popping into this week's episode of The King's Corner, and we're going to start with a banger. Let's start with the Super Mario Brothers movie. This is something that I was extremely excited about. Back in the day, I used to have the Bubble TV and an NES, and I would play a lot of those original Mario games on the NES. I had so much fun doing that. You spend just so much time playing those games. I played the Mario Kart on the Wii. I thought that was very fun. So seeing this movie come to life, uh, you know, I hoped they would do it justice. I hoped that it wouldn't just be like a cash grab to get a lot of people in the seats because they know they'll make money off of a Mario movie. And that's not the case. Look, again, the critics and the audiences are split with this. If you look at like Rotten Tomatoes or something, it's like 50% critics, 90% audience score. I mean, it's really crazy that's been happening a lot lately. But, I am on the side of the coin where I would say that this is, exactly what an animated film should be. This movie is vibrant. Its colors are bright. It's beautiful looking. The animation is stellar. The voice cast is phenomenal. Everybody is incredible in this. And I was sitting there about halfway through, and I was just thinking, this just feels like it was made with a lot of love. And I guess some people aren't seeing that. But when I watched it, I was so engrossed, so immersed. And the story is very simple. Mario and Luigi are plumbers. They're the Super Mario Brothers plumbers, and they're doing what they have to do. And one thing leads to another, and they get sucked into the Mushroom Kingdom or the Nintendo world. With Bowser and all these other people. And look, Bowser, he's got this superstar, and he's now coming for the Mushroom Kingdom. And Mario has to save the day, and this time Luigi is the one that gets captured. Princess Peach is the sidekick of the journey with Mario. So a lot of people didn't know how the Chris Pratt voice would do as Mario, and I just think he's fantastic in the role. And I'll say that about every single one of them. Anya Taylor-Joy, I think, is excellent as Princess Peach. Charlie Day is incredible as Luigi. Jack Black steals the show for me as Bowser. He's so good. He is so energetic. I love the character so much. And he's got musical numbers in the movie, or really one musical number in the movie that I just thought was so funny, and it worked for me. It really worked for me. Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong, that I think a lot of people would say stole the show for them. I thought he was great. Hearing that laugh again. He did it as Pumbaa in an animated film. Now he's doing it in this. Well, I guess that was supposed to be live action, but whatever you want to say about that. Seth Rogen is fantastic in this, and I think it pays tribute to what you see in the games. There's a sequence early on when they're running through New York. They have to get somewhere, and it's laid out as a side scroller. So you're seeing Luigi on the bottom and Mario on the top, and they're running through and they're doing what they have to do. And I just thought it was great. Now, do I have negatives with the film? Yes, not a lot, but I would say that the last act of the film does get a little, I don't know, sloppy maybe in a sense. I think that they had a lot of stuff they set up in Act 1 and Act 2 that by the time the third act is here, they're thinking, well, how can we bring this all together? And let's just do it like this. So some things leave you with a bit of a question mark, like, wonder how that happened, but you just kind of go with it. And when you get to what happens, it's like, okay, It's an okay ending. I don't think it was like a great ending because you think it's going to end and then it goes on for another couple of minutes and changes location, changes setting. So I don't want to spoil too much, but other than that, I think the film is very sweet. It's very touching. It's very heartwarming. I loved it. I loved it. I thought it was great. I didn't, that third act is not going to tank the film for me. And maybe it's going to tank it for other people. I don't know. But I think honestly, that's where some people are going to get the most enjoyment and excitement in the third act. For me, I just thought, okay, there's a lot of moving parts, and they're trying to pay off a bunch of different things that they're paying them off, but it's just like, okay, well, it just feels a little sloppy. But yeah, other than that, I think also in the third act, there's something that happens that reminded me of Finding Nemo, and I guess the filmmakers were like, well, if Finding Nemo could do it 20 years ago, we're just going to do it now. And if you know what scene I'm talking about, I mean, it's exact, basically the same thing that happens in that movie. So, yeah, look, this is a great movie. I loved it. I loved it. I think this is going to work for kids. I think it's going to work for adults. And I don't understand negative reviews that could come out of this. I just don't know how you could leave going that was bad or not good. I just don't understand it. So in the end of the day, this is like an extremely solid 4 out of 5 stars for me. I'm tempted to give it a 4.5 out of 5. Is that too high? I don't know. I'm coming off of a really high. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. So, well, not stoned, but like really excited about it. So that's where I'm at. So yeah, that's Super Mario's Brother movie, and I do highly recommend it. Next up, let's talk about Air. This is directed by Ben Affleck, also starring Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Jason Bateman, Viola Davis, and the story of how the Air Jordan shoe was created and the pull to get Michael Jordan to sign on with Nike. There's been rave reviews for this movie, and it's been kind of hyping me up to see it. And finally, sitting there watching it, I'm thinking, you know what? This is really well made, really competently made. But by the end of the film, you go, well, that was kind of excellent. I mean, overall, this is an excellent movie. Air is entertaining. It is extremely well written. It's extremely well acted. I think Ben Affleck does a great job directing this movie. Um, you know, everything works. I mean, the editing, the way it's shot. I mean, it feels just so uh, real and so raw and so down to earth. I mean, the way that Ben Affleck makes this movie, he's just giving you everything, on the plate. He's saying, okay, here's all these ingredients, and I hope they taste good together. And guess what? They taste great together. Matt Damon is incredible in this film. Jason Bateman is fantastic in the movie as well. And Ben Affleck, I mean, he's given another great performance in this. Him also directing it, which he does that. He's behind the camera, he's in front of the camera. He does that throughout his filmography. And here again, I mean, he's just really doing it. And it's the story of Matt Damon, who is, this kind of talent scout for Nike, and they're looking for someone to sign. They got to sign somebody. Who are they going to sign? Well, there's a bunch of names going around, and he says, you know what? I think this guy's got talent. Let's go for Michael Jordan. He gets this feeling. It's a really great story. It's a heartwarming story. It's an uplifting story. By the time it ends, you feel really good. I mean, it really leaves you feeling good. I mean, there's not much to say about it other than this is just a really well-made movie with great performances, great filmmaking, behind the camera, in front of the camera. I mean, it just hits on all cylinders. I mean, there's great comedic moments in it. I mean, the movie just works on all ends, and there's no negative with it. I can't say, well, I didn't like that about it, because there was nothing about it that I was like, I didn't really like that. The whole film, beginning to end. I mean, this is just such a well made movie. But the rave reviews are accurate. They are certainly accurate. And Air is a 5 out of 5 star film and the best movie of the year. I mean, this is just one of those films that you watch it and it's just like they nailed it on every area. I mean, I could rewatch this again. I mean, the characters are so likable, the story is likable. Like I said, the pacing. Yeah. So this is a great film, and I highly recommend it. The next film we're going to be talking about is an interesting one. It's Paint, which is inspired by Bob Ross and his life as a painter when he's working with the television company and what takes place during that. Look, I don't know how much of this is a true story. I really don't. I was reading about what was it about before the film. I said, well, he's not playing Bob Ross. He's playing a different character, Owen Wilson. But this is a guy that's inspired by Bob Ross. So if you watch this, is it a complete fairy tale? Is it a complete fantasy of the life of Bob Ross? I don't know. I don't know enough about Bob Ross. And the movie doesn't ever say based on true events. So don't know if they just take his likeness and they add it into this different story. Not entirely sure. But Owen Wilson is playing a Bob Ross type character who, he's painting and he's working for this TV company and he's got his show called Paint. He's got his relationships with women in his life. Uh, there's some complications with that. There's another woman that comes in to do the second hour because they say they want to add 2 hours to the show instead of one. So Bob Ross will get the first hour and the second hour instead of him getting the double hours. We're going to give it to somebody else. So that leaves a little bit of conflict in the movie, but that sort of trickles away, and then it turns into just like a romantic drama. I mean, I don't think the movie really knew what it wanted to be honest with you. After watching it and thinking about it, I think it felt really unfocused. Is this about the guy painting and his love for painting? I mean, you don't really get any of that in his mental psyche of painting. He just does it. And you don't really get to see him do it very much in the film. There's just always a blank canvas or a completely finished canvas that he's standing next to. It's very rare that you get to see him with the paintbrush. So I thought that was a little strange. Um, like I said, it is unfocused. I mean, Owen Wilson's fine in the movie. I think everybody's fine, but there's just nothing memorable about it. And a movie about that's inspired by Bob Ross, you would think, oh, should be very memorable, should be funny. I mean, you would think this could be a good comedy. I mean, but it's really not. I think all the humor just kind of falls flat. The movie doesn't know what it wants to be, and it doesn't know what kind of humor it wants to have. I mean, just in the end of the day, the film kind of fails. And I can't recommend Paint. You know, is it watchable? Sure, but after you leave, I can't say that it's a good movie. And I don't know. There was just too not enough going on. I don't know. It just felt very empty, unfocused, and I don't know, just weird. I poorly made. I didn't really care for it. It's a 2.5 out of 5-star movie. It's not terrible, but I don't think it's all that good either. So that's my thoughts on Paint. And the final film we're talking about today is Murder Mystery 2. This comes again from Netflix, and it reunites Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston back as the Spitzes. Where, look, the first film I saw it this past week to prepare for this movie, and I thought it was okay. I watched it and I said, it wasn't great, but it was okay. It was fine. So this movie, I didn't know how it was going to go. Honestly, I thought that this is just like hopefully not a Grown Ups 2 situation where I really liked the first Grown Ups, but the second one was just kind of atrocious. And I'm happy to say personally for me that's not the case. I actually like Murder Mystery 2 more than the first movie. I just think it's more entertaining. I think it moves faster. The pacing of this is like lightning fast. Is the story great? Is the writing great? I don't think so, but it's extremely fun and it's extremely entertaining. And Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston, they get, another opportunity to figure something out, figure a murder mystery out. What's going on? What's the mystery? And I thought it was a better story overall than the first movie. The first movie had the Luke Evans character and all the other stuff. I don't know, it was okay. But this, I really enjoyed it. You get Mark Strong coming in as another sort of detective, and he's great. It's always nice to see Mark Strong. But all the cast members, the Colonel returns from the first movie, and look, I just think it's really fun. I think it's really entertaining. I think there's a great action set piece in a car in a moving truck, which I thought was pretty awesome. There is something that happens in the third act that I felt like could have been cut out of the movie entirely. There's a character that comes up an elevator, and we meet this person. We say, "Who the hell is this? What the hell is going on here?" And I don't know what significance that played, but other than that, I think it's a really fun little movie. Is it great? No, but it's extremely fun. I think it's what they intended it to be, and it's a 3.5 out of 5-star movie. I really enjoyed Murder Mystery 2. And hell, I'd love a third one. So let's see if we get one. And yeah, guys, look, that's the King's Corner for this week. That's the films that we're talking about. What are you going to go see? You plan on seeing any of this in theaters this week? Leave that down below. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Look, things will be a little different with the King's Corner within the next coming weeks. A week today, my son will be born, so that's going to kind of restrict me from going to the movies and seeing the new releases. Now, for films like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and some of the other big films, we're going to go see them in the drive-in theater. So I still will be able to review those movies on the episodes of the King's Corner. I just don't think instead of Thursday, they'll be releasing on Friday, the videos, because I don't think drive-ins are doing Thursday nights. I think they do Friday nights and Saturday nights, so we will go Friday night. So that's the plan for the big ones. Also, I do plan on, we're probably going to go see Indiana Jones in the theater, Little Mermaid in the theater, but Guardians 3 is a little too soon after the birth. We're going to probably check that out at the drive-in. So we're still going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about some streaming movies. We're going to be talking about Tetris next week. That came out. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Gonna watch that. Some other stuff. We're gonna be talking about some films like next week. Reinfeld and The Pope's Exorcist comes out. So what are we gonna talk about? Well, maybe we're gonna talk about a Nicolas Cage movie. Who knows? But that's next week's episode of The King's Corner. So come with us on this journey, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for other things, Blu-ray updates, 4K updates, our weekly live show. We give away a lot of the digital copy codes that we get with these new release 4Ks and Blu-rays. So you can follow me on Twitter, RyanKing72, and Instagram and TikTok at King Arises 131. That's been it for me. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of The King's Corner. And until next week, over and out.